Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready for the deep dive into today's top tech and business news?
Absolutely.
We're wading through press releases and blog posts and funding announcements.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, there's some really cool stuff to talk about today.
Oh, lots to unpack.
Yeah, we've got a blockchain launching its mainnet today.
Oh, wow.
AI that's pushing the boundaries of video creation.
Yeah. Sounds interesting.
And investments that sound like they're straight out of science fiction.
Definitely a lot of forward-looking stuff happening.
Yeah, so let's just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
So first up, let's talk about this quasi-network making a big splash with their mainnet launch.
All right.
Now, for those who might not be familiar with all the blockchain lingo,
Right.
a mainnet launch is kind of like a graduation ceremony for a blockchain project.
Yeah. It's like they're moving from a test environment to a live, fully operational network.
Exactly.
Really a signal to the world that they're ready for real-world use.
Huge.
Yeah. And that they're confident in their technology.
Yeah, and what really caught my eye is this unique dual token system they got going on
Yeah.
with 2AI and QI.
Interesting.
I'm curious, how does this set them apart from other blockchains out there?
So that's a great question. And a lot of blockchains, they struggle with balancing network stability and keeping transaction fees low, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So Quasi-Network's dual token system, this aims to solve this issue.
Okay.
So QAI, that's their primary token that's used for governance and staking, which helps secure the network. And then you have QI, which is specifically designed for gas fees. So those little charges you pay for every transaction.
Oh, so they're separating those functions to kind of like avoid those crazy price fluctuations that we see sometimes?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Imagine you're trying to buy a coffee with crypto, and then suddenly the gas fee costs more than the coffee itself.
Yeah, that's happened to me a few times.
Yeah, exactly. That's a barrier to mainstream adoption, right?
Big time.
So the dual token system, this is designed to prevent that kind of volatility and really create a more user-friendly experience.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, while we're on the topic of blockchain, I saw that BitDeal is rolling out this new feature called Remine.
Remine.
It's essentially a marketplace for transferring idle mining machine orders.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, have you heard about this?
I have. Yeah, this is a really clever way to address a common issue in the crypto mining world.
Yeah, what's the issue?
So mining requires specialized hardware, and a lot of times miners end up with these idle machines.
Yeah.
Because of market fluctuations, maybe they upgraded their hardware.
Right.
So Remine allows them to basically rent out those idle machines to other miners who need them.
So instead of those machines just sitting there collecting dust,
Exactly.
they can generate some revenue.
Yeah. It's like Airbnb for crypto miners.
I love that. That's a great analogy.
Just a more efficient ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
Resources are maximized, which could be beneficial for the individual miners.
Right.
And also the overall stability of the network.
Okay, one last blockchain story before we move on.
Okay.
Chainlink, they posted this blog about their cross-chain token standard.
Okay.
Sounds pretty technical, but why should we care about this?
So one of the biggest hurdles for blockchain adoption is this lack of interoperability.
Okay.
So think of it like this. You're trying to send a text message from an iPhone to an Android.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
Chainlink's CCT standard, this aims to bridge that gap by enabling tokens to move seamlessly between different blockchains.
So creating a more interconnected blockchain world
Exactly.
where things can flow freely?
Where value and information can be exchanged across different networks without friction.
Okay.
It really opens up a world of possibilities for decentralized applications and cross-platform collaboration.
So, I mean, this is all incredibly interesting, but, what does this tell us about the bigger picture?
Right.
Is this a sign that the crypto space is finally maturing?
I think these developments are strong indicators of that. We're seeing a shift from hype to practicality. There's a focus on solving real-world problems and creating sustainable solutions.
Right.
The emphasis on stability, efficiency, and interoperability.
Right.
This is crucial for attracting mainstream adoption.
For sure. For sure. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit
Right.
and dive into the world of AI.
Oh, God.
These things are getting really interesting over there.
Yeah.
So Synthesia, this company that specializes in AI-powered video technology,
Yeah.
they just raised $180 million
Wow.
in funding.
That's a significant investment,
Yeah.
and it really reflects the growing excitement around AI's potential to transform video creation.
For sure.
Synthesia's platform allows users to create videos featuring lifelike avatars that can speak any language,
Yeah, it's wild.
making content creation faster, more scalable, and accessible to a global audience.
That's incredible. Imagine being able to create a video with like a virtual presenter who speaks fluent Mandarin or Spanish.
Exactly. It has the potential to break down language barriers and really democratize video creation.
Yeah.
It's no wonder investors are so bullish on its potential.
It is super cool. But is there a risk that this kind of technology could be misused? Like, creating deepfakes,
Right.
spreading misinformation.
Absolutely. That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And it highlights the ethical considerations that come with any powerful technology.
Right.
As AI becomes more sophisticated, it's crucial to develop safeguards and promote responsible use.
Yeah.
Transparency and accountability are key.
For sure. Okay, let's move on to another interesting AI development.
Okay.
Green Geeks, a web hosting company.
Okay.
They just launched an AI-powered website builder for WordPress.
Interesting.
They're claiming it can create a website in seconds.
In seconds.
Yeah.
That's an ambitious claim.
It is, right. So is this just hype, or is it the real deal?
So AI-powered website builders are becoming increasingly sophisticated. They're using algorithms to analyze user input and generate layouts, suggest content, even select color palettes.
Wow.
The goal is to make website creation as easy as possible, even for users, without any technical skills.
So is this the end of web designers as we know them?
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
While AI can automate many tasks, human creativity and strategic thinking are still crucial for crafting really effective websites.
Okay.
So think of it more as a collaborative process where AI acts as a powerful assistant,
Okay.
but the human designer ultimately retains control over the final product.
That makes sense. And speaking of AI just infiltrating every corner of the tech world,
Right.
ControlMonkey, they just secured $7 million for their AI cloud platform.
Oh, wow.
So it seems like even cloud management's getting an AI makeover these days.
Absolutely. As cloud computing becomes more complex,
Yeah.
AI is playing an increasingly important role in managing and optimizing cloud resources.
Right.
ControlMonkey's platform, it uses AI to automate tasks, enhance security, and improve efficiency, which is essential for businesses of all sizes that rely on the cloud.
Yeah. Seems like everyone's relying on the cloud these days.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, let's shift gears now and talk about some of the big money flowing into some really groundbreaking projects.
Right, let's do it.
Starting with Brickken.
Okay.
This company just raised $2.5 million to empower asset tokenization.
Asset tokenization.
Yeah. Can you break that down for us? What does that even mean?
Yeah, so in simple terms, asset tokenization involves representing real-world assets,
Okay.
like real estate, art, or even company shares as digital tokens on a blockchain.
Interesting.
So this unlocks a world of possibilities.
So it's like turning physical assets into digital ones.
Yeah, you could say that.
What are the advantages to that?
So first, it increases liquidity.
Okay.
You can easily buy, sell, or trade fractional ownership of assets that were previously illiquid. Second, it improves transparency and security as all transactions are recorded on an immutable ledger. And third, it opens up new avenues for fundraising and investment, making it easier for people to invest in assets that were previously out of reach.
So making assets more accessible, transparent, and easier to manage.
Exactly.
Sounds like a game changer for a lot of industries.
It certainly has the potential to disrupt traditional markets and create new opportunities for investors and asset owners alike.
This is fascinating. Okay, what other investments caught your eye today?
Well, BeraTone, a gaming company, just secured $2 million to build an MMORPG on the Berachain.
Hold on, an MMORPG?
Yeah.
I know that's a type of video game.
Yes.
But for those of us who aren't gamers, can you explain what that is?
Yeah, of course. So MMORPG stands for Massively Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Game.
Okay.
It's a genre of video game where thousands of players interact with each other in a virtual world.
Okay.
Think World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV.
Gotcha.
So BeraTone is creating an MMORPG where players can earn, trade, and own in-game assets through blockchain technology.
So it's blending this popular game genre with the capabilities of blockchain.
Exactly. It's part of a growing trend we're seeing in the gaming industry where blockchain is being used to create more engaging and rewarding experiences for players.
Right.
The concept of true ownership of digital assets is a powerful draw for many gamers.
That makes sense.
Okay.
And speaking of opening up new possibilities, there's a major partnership in the works
Oh, yeah.
between Jio Platforms,
Yeah.
a telecom giant in India,
Okay.
and Polygon Labs, a leading blockchain platform.
I've heard about this.
They're teaming up to drive Web3 adoption in India.
That's huge.
Huge. Jio Platforms has
Yeah.
over 450 million customers.
Wow.
So for those who are like, okay, I've heard all this buzz about Web3, but I'm still not entirely sure what it is.
Right.
Can you give us a quick breakdown?
Yeah, so Web3 is essentially the next iteration of the internet, built on blockchain technology.
Okay.
And it aims to create a more decentralized and user-centric online experience where users have greater control over their data, digital identity, and online interactions.
Okay.
Think of it as a shift from the platform-driven internet to a user-owned internet.
So it's about giving power back to the people.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see why that's appealing.
It's about creating a more equitable and transparent online world where users are in control of their digital lives.
Right.
And this partnership between Jio Platforms and Polygon Labs,
Yeah.
this could be a major catalyst for Web3 adoption in one of the world's fastest growing tech markets.
Wow. Okay, so that's a major step forward for Web3.
Definitely.
All right, before we wrap up this first part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I noticed this recurring theme in today's news. Companies across various sectors are expanding their leadership teams.
Interesting.
We're seeing it at vcomsolutionstatement.io and many others. Why do you think that is?
So this trend is a direct reflection of the rapid growth and evolution of the tech industry.
Okay.
As new technologies emerge and markets expand, companies need strong leadership to navigate these dynamic landscapes and capitalize on new opportunities.
So it's not just about technical skills anymore. It's about having that strong leadership to steer the ship.
Exactly. The demand for experienced leaders who can adapt to change, inspire teams, and make strategic decisions is only going to increase in the years to come.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the tech, it's about the people.
Yeah, people are key. Welcome back to our deep dive into today's top tech and business news.
It's amazing how much ground we've already covered.
Right.
But there's still so much to unpack.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
I mean, it's incredible how many exciting things are happening in the tech world every single day.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what we're here for, right?
Exactly.
Break it all down and try to make sense of it all.
Make it digestible.
Now, before we move on to some other exciting news stories,
Okay.
I kind of want to circle back to Quasi Network's mainnet launch. We talked about their dual token system.
Right.
What? I think it's worth delving a bit deeper into why this could be so impactful for the blockchain industry as a whole.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it sounds like they're trying to solve a pretty fundamental problem with blockchain. Those wild price swings.
Yeah.
That can make it really hard to use for everyday transactions.
Exactly. You see, many blockchain networks rely on a single token for everything.
Right.
Governance, security, and transaction fees.
Yeah.
This can lead to instability. For example, if the price of the token skyrockets because of speculation, transaction fees can become incredibly expensive, making the network basically unusable for those everyday transactions.
Right. So by having a separate token, specifically for gas fees, Quasi Network is trying to create like a more stable and predictable environment.
Exactly. It's all about creating a more user-friendly experience.
Right.
Because if people are constantly worried about those unpredictable transaction costs, they're less likely to use the network.
Right. Makes sense.
So the dual token system, this is a clever way to address this issue. And it could pave the way for wider adoption of blockchain technology.
Okay, so it's like having a separate currency for paying tolls on a highway.
Oh, I like that.
It keeps things running smoothly.
Yeah.
Prevents congestion.
That's a great analogy.
Okay, now, shifting back to AI.
Okay.
We talked about Synthesia and their impressive funding round for their AI video technology.
Right.
I think it's worth kind of exploring the broader implications of this technology beyond just making videos faster and easier to create.
Yeah.
What about, the potential downsides?
Right.
Could this technology be used to manipulate people or spread misinformation?
That's a very important point to consider.
Yeah.
As with any powerful technology, there's always the potential for misuse.
Right.
Imagine someone creating a video of a political leader saying things that they never actually said.
Yeah.
This could have serious consequences, especially in today's world where information spreads so rapidly.
It's a bit unsettling to think about. It feels like we're entering a world where you can't even trust what you see with your own eyes.
That really highlights the need for critical thinking and media literacy, We need to be more discerning than ever about the sources of information that we consume.
Right.
And just be aware of the potential for manipulation.
Right. And be aware that it's out there.
Exactly.
Okay, moving on, we touched upon Green Geeks launching that AI-powered website builder for WordPress.
Yeah.
I'm curious about this a little bit further.
Okay.
While it sounds super convenient, could this stifle creativity in web design?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
Okay.
It can be used to enhance creativity, not replace it.
Right.
For example, instead of spending hours on tedious tasks like choosing fonts and colors,
Yeah.
a designer could use an AI-powered website builder to quickly generate a basic layout,
Okay.
and then focus their energy on refining the design and adding their unique creative flair.
This is like having an AI assistant. That takes care of all the grunt work.
Yeah.
Freeing up the designers to focus on like the more creative aspects of the project.
Exactly. It's about using AI to streamline the process.
Right.
And make web design more accessible to a wider audience while still allowing for human creativity and personalization.
Okay, now let's talk about some of those investments that caught our attention.
All right.
We talked about Brickken raising funds for asset tokenization.
Right.
Can you elaborate a bit more on what types of assets can be tokenized and what kind of impact this could have?
So the range of assets that can be tokenized is vast.
Right.
We're talking about everything from real estate and fine art to intellectual property and even carbon credits.
Wow.
This has the potential to democratize investment opportunities,
Good.
making it easier for people to invest in assets that were previously only accessible to the wealthy.
So instead of needing millions of dollars to invest in a skyscraper,
Right.
you could potentially buy a tiny fraction of it
Exactly.
through tokenization.
Exactly. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities for investors, especially those who have been traditionally excluded from certain markets.
It sounds like it could be a game changer for financial inclusion.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, what about BeraTone and their blockchain-based MMORPG?
Right.
It sounds like a really cool concept.
Yeah.
But how exactly does blockchain fit into the gaming world?
So traditionally, in-game items and currencies,
Yeah.
they're owned and controlled by the game developers.
Right.
But with blockchain, players can truly own their digital assets.
Oh, wow.
And these assets can be traded or sold,
Right.
or even transferred to other games.
Interesting.
This gives players more control, and it creates a more dynamic gaming economy.
So it's like owning a rare baseball card or a piece of art.
Yeah.
It has real value outside of the game itself.
Precisely, this concept of true digital ownership is a key driver of the growing convergence between blockchain and gaming.
Okay, now let's shift gears to the partnership between Jio Platforms and Polygon Labs.
Okay.
We talked about Web3 and its potential.
Right. But I'm curious about the challenges they might face in bringing Web3 to such a large and diverse population in India.
Yeah, that's a great question.
I mean,
One of the biggest challenges will be education and awareness.
right.
Many people are still unfamiliar with Web3 and blockchain technology.
Yeah, they're hearing the buzzwords, but they don't necessarily know what it means.
Exactly. So there's a need for clear communication,
Right.
easy-to-use tools to onboard new
It
users.
sounds like user experience is going to be key.
Absolutely. If it's too complicated or confusing, people just won't bother with it.
Right.
Another challenge is infrastructure.
Okay.
Web3 relies on decentralized networks, which can be slower and more expensive to use than traditional centralized systems.
Right.
So scaling these networks to accommodate millions of users is going to be crucial.
Right. So it's not just about building the technology.
Exactly.
It's about making sure it's accessible and affordable for everyone.
Exactly. And then finally, there's the issue of regulation. Governments around the world are still grappling with how to regulate Web3 and blockchain.
Yeah, for sure.
So a clear and supportive regulatory environment.
Mm-hmm.
This will be essential for fostering innovation and adoption.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of hurdles to overcome,
There are?
but the potential rewards are huge.
Definitely.
It'll be fascinating to see how this partnership unfolds
Absolutely.
and what impact it has on Web3 adoption in India and beyond.
A story worth watching closely.
Okay, before we move on to our final part,
Okay.
I want to circle back to that trend of companies expanding their leadership teams.
Okay.
We talked about the growing demand for strong leaders.
Right.
But what specific qualities do you think will be most valuable in the tech industry going forward?
That's a great question. And I think one of the most important qualities will be adaptability.
Okay.
The tech landscape is constantly evolving, so leaders need to be able to embrace change and pivot quickly.
So it's not necessarily about having all the answers. but it's about being able to learn and adapt as new challenges arise.
Exactly. Another crucial quality will be vision.
Okay.
Leaders need to be able to anticipate future trends
Right.
and position their companies for success in a rapidly changing world.
So seeing the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Not getting bogged down in the day-to-day.
Exactly. And finally, I think empathy will be increasingly important
Okay.
as technology becomes more integrated into our lives.
Yeah.
Leaders need to be able to understand the human impact of their decisions
Right.
and build products and services that benefit society as a whole.
So it's not just about profits.
Right.
It's about creating a better future for everyone.
Exactly. Leaders who can balance technological innovation with ethical considerations and a focus on social impact. Those are the ones who will truly shape the future.
Those are some inspiring words to end part 2 of our deep dive.
Oh, thank you.
But don't go anywhere.
Yeah, stay tuned.
We'll be back with part 3, where we'll reflect on everything we've learned and explore some final thoughts about the future of tech and business. And welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into today's tech and business news.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind of information.
It has.
But I think we've managed to distill some key insights and connect the dots between these seemingly disparate developments.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's time to bring it back to you, our listener.
Yeah.
What stood out to you the most from all of this? Was it the potential of Quai Network's dual token system to stabilize the crypto market?
Right.
Or maybe the ethical implications of AI video technology like Synthesia?
Yeah, tough questions.
Yeah, what about for you? What stood out to you?
I think for me, the partnership between Jio Platforms and Polygon Labs to drive that Web3 adoption in India, that was particularly noteworthy just because it highlights the growing momentum behind Web3 and its potential to just reshape the internet as we know it.
Totally agree. That was a big one. And it's just fascinating to see how different parts of the world are kind of embracing these new technologies and shaping their own unique approaches to innovation.
Absolutely. It underscores the global nature of this technological revolution. What's happening in India, Silicon Valley, or anywhere else in the world, it has the potential to impact us all.
That's a great point. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question.
Okay.
With all this innovation happening all around us, what skills or knowledge do you think will be most valuable in navigating this rapidly changing landscape?
You know, that's a question worth pondering, and we've touched on several key areas today.
Yeah.
You know, understanding the fundamentals of blockchain AI and Web3 is certainly important.
For sure.
But beyond that, I think it's crucial to cultivate this mindset of continuous learning and adaptability.
Yeah, I mean, the only constant in the tech world is change.
Exactly.
Right, so being able to learn new things quickly and adapt to new situations, it's going to be essential for success.
It really is.
And let's not forget the importance of critical thinking, too.
Oh, absolutely.
We need to be able to, evaluate information, separate the hype from reality, and make informed decisions in a world where we're just constantly bombarded with information.
Information overload is the norm these days.
Yeah, it really is. So to our listeners out there, I encourage you to embrace curiosity, ask questions, and never stop exploring.
Yeah.
The future is being shaped right now, and it's up to all of us to participate in this exciting journey.
Well said.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of tech and business.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And until next time, stay curious and stay informed.